phones. You're not selling anything.
The Fed's not done, and I'm going to tell you why.
Welcome back to Sean's show, everyone. I'm sorry we're a little bit late this week. I had I did a song. I did another song, so stick around to the end. I have another very fun song for you guys at the end of the show. It took me way longer than I anticipated to record it. So I am Sans producer today because I pay my producers well, by the hour, and so it's just me. But and I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, but that's the reason. So. But I hope you're having a good week. I mean, so much. This has been a crazy week. By the way, I just released a Patreon with Alex Labuti, who's a good buddy of mine. And we discussed everything. We discussed the Houthi group chat. We discussed everything we're going to talk about today. Solo, I chopped it up with my good friend Alex. So that's in the Patreon. I thought it was very fun. I honestly, it's a pretty fun episode. I listened to it. So go take a look. At the Patreon. I believe I have just one subscriber, so get in there. Please get in there. I'm screaming into the void, so get in there. It does really help the show. Another thing you can do to help the show, review it on Spotify, tell your friends, like the video on YouTube, give me a comment. I mean, I'm dying out here, so give me fucking something, guys. I'm going crazy. I'm eating candy for dinner. That's how fucked up you guys have me. But it does really help. So get your phone out of your fucking pocket, open Spotify, and hit the 1-star out of 5-star button on the show. Okay, let's get into it. The Houthi, everyone's talking about it, the small Houthi PC group chat. Everyone's talking about it. I thought PC meant like political correctness. When I saw that headline, I was like, is this PC? I thought it was like woke. I thought it was woke. I saw Houthi PC group chat. I was like, is this a woke thing? Is this the left trying to destroy me? Is this the left trying to brainwash No, it's Trump's. You already know the story if you follow the show, probably. But just in case you live under a rock, Trump's top military brass had a group chat on this app called Signal, where you can, I guess they say it's end-to-end encryption. By the way, save me with that. Save me with the idea that Signal or any other app is end-to-end encryption and there's no backdoor for the NSA. The NSA has a backdoor into everything, including my asshole and yours too, by the way. They like this idea that it's like, or VPN. I mean, I'm not a cybersecurity expert, but I have a strong feeling that our good friends at the NSA could get into your Signal chat if they had a good reason. And by the way, I don't oppose that. If the NSA and the FBI want to get into your Signal chat, you're probably not talking about what do we want to do for lunch, everyone. You're probably doing some crime. Now, speaking of crime, the Trump military top brass were in the process of committing a war crime, one of my favorite types of crimes. And they were talking about it. And Michael Waltz, who is one of Trump's top military brass, has apparently inadvertently added a journalist, a reporter, to this group chat in Signal. And not just any reporter, ladies and gentlemen. He invited Jeffrey Goldberg, editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, which is about as anti-Trump as you can get. And he was in that group chat with Pete Hegseth, with Tulsi Gabbard, with Marco Rubio was in the chat, and all of their staff. And they're talking about bombing Yemen. And unbeknownst to any of them, no one caught it, that Jeffrey Goldberg was in the chat. And he just is in this chat reading the war plans, which, by the way, are not confidential. By the way, the war plans, not confidential. I know when you guys are reading the group chat, the small Houthi PC group chat. I know it seems and it sounds and it reads as if it's confidential information. Nothing's confidential about the nature of the weapons used to bomb Yemen. That's common knowledge. That's common knowledge. Quite frankly, you're a fool. You're an idiot if you don't know what type of weapons we're using to attack terrorist targets in Yemen. That makes you an idiot. Anyone can go on Google and look up the timing. Here's the thing. It's not confidential. The group chat, the Houthi group chat, guys, there was no confidential information in that. At any moment, any person can go onto Google and you can type in next Yemen strike time and you'll find your answer. It's out there. It's right. That's how the world works. Obviously, that's not how the world works. And obviously, it's confidential. If that's not confidential, what qualifies as confidential? Like that's what I'm trying to wrap my head around. Like, if the nature of the weapons used and the timing of the strikes in Yemen is not confidential war plans, what is confidential? Is it like the color of the target's pubic hair? How specific do we need to be before it gets confidential? And by the way, guys, this is why you listen to this show. I have a degree in aerospace engineering. And did you know this? I learned this. I went to Lockheed Martin. I've been to all the big defense contractors. And there is a policy where if you are in a confidential space, and let's say you bring, this was back in the day, but let's say you brought a CD. No one knows what a CD-ROM. I'm dating myself. Can you believe I just said CD-ROM in 2025? Put a bullet in my fucking head, truly. CD-ROM. But let's say you're at Lockheed Martin and it's the 90s and everything is good. It's pre 9/11. You have a 2% interest rate on your mortgage and you love America. We'll never see that again, by the way. That time is long gone. Let's say it's 1999. The dot-com bubble hasn't crashed. You're worth $2 million on paper. You got a beautiful wife. One of your kids is autistic, but you kind of like it. He's kind of cute. And your life's good. You go to your job at Lockheed Martin and you have a CD-ROM with your favorite 90s hits. And you bring that into Lockheed Martin. Guess what? That CD-ROM is now confidential. It is not to leave that room, and anyone that wants to access it or possess it has to have a security clearance. That is, by the way, I think that's bureaucratic and retarded. Let's be clear. Now, that is how security clearances and top secret information, that is the actual nature of how it is controlled. That is to say, it's pretty controlled. If you walk in with a CD with your music on it, it becomes top secret. So don't give me this shit, Pete Hegseth, Michael Waltz, Trump. Don't give us this shit that those plans are just for the public consumption. It's a deflection. It obviously is a deflection. Now, is it a big deal? Everyone, and like, they're not stupid. Like, they must know that it's a fuck up. I mean, I guarantee you, behind closed doors, they're like, we really fuck this up. What's the messaging to the public? Right? And that's fine. I mean, and to be clear, that's how both political parties work. It's not like Republicans are unique in that way. When the Democrats fuck up, they don't admit it. No one admits when they're wrong. Excuse me. I'm not lying about the bag of candy. I apologize, guys. I'm literally not. I had a bag of candy for dinner. Okay, that's how down bad I am with the show. We got a new studio. I'm fucking broke. Okay, but Democrats, Republicans, they don't ever claim. That's not in the political playbook. You never. I mean, we all saw that trailer for that one Trump movie, The Apprentice. You'd never admit defeat. The truth is meaningless. What is the truth? It's what I say the truth is. Fuck you. That was in the like that's Trump's whole thing. Is he goes, never admit defeat, never admit you're wrong. And look where he is. He's the president. Now, what does that say about America? It says that we're a poisoned country. If you have a philosophy of never admit defeat, never admit you're wrong, and that philosophy gets you to the highest office of the country, that's a fucked up country. That is not a country that anyone should be proud of. Let's be clear. I'd rather live in Yemen. That's not true. I would not want to live there. Maybe, who knows? Well, now that it's been bombed, and it's like, it's just crazy. I mean, I want to read a little bit of an excerpt. Let's dive into some specifics here. So, and this is breaking as of today. This was like, this was late yesterday. Not only is the group chat leaked, we have also found out that Michael Waltz, who is the guy that added Jeffrey Goldberg to the group chat, we have found out that his Venmo is public. Michael Waltz has a Venmo, and anyone can go and look at his Venmo. Maybe not now. It's probably since this article has been deleted. But and guess what? Michael Waltz has a bunch of friends. Check this out. Whether Waltz has fully learned his lessons seems to be more of an open question, especially given the prospect's discovery that his personal Venmo account remains public, with some 300 quote-unquote friends actively listed on his profile. And while Goldberg doesn't appear in Waltz's Venmo contact list, several other journalists do. So he's friends with journalists on his public Venmo. That's fucking crazy. What is he doing? Is he paying? Is he going to drinks? What is he doing with these journalists? That's what I want to know. You know? Why is he getting drinks with journalists? Usually when you Venmo someone, it's because you like go out to eat with them. Or maybe he's getting paid from the journalists. We don't know. And we'll never know until that gets leaked next week when he adds me to a group chat. But it's an unbelievable story. And it's on the level, I think, of the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Like that's where the story is right now. I feel like it has that much gravity to it, which is really crazy to say, but it does feel like, I mean, it's just a great week. And and guys, as someone who's pretty apolitical, let's be honest, I lean left a little bit, but as someone who has never given a shit about democracy and whose parents are landlords, which means I can flee to Venezuela or Switzerland at any moment. As someone, I'm pretty much an outsider. As an apolitical globalist psychopath, it's a good week for the news. It is a good week. It's a good week for the news. It's an entertaining week. I think this is a win. We really, and like as insane as the culture is right now, I want everyone to just take a breath and take a beat and realize that this is a golden era. Remember when Biden was president and everyone was like, oh, this is so boring. You want to know why? Because the Biden administration, by the way, the bombing of Yemen did not stop. You know, like when Biden was president, a lot of people were like, snooze fest, you know, because the news didn't and a lot of the mainstream media didn't really report on Biden. And people were complaining because it was like it was boring. Now you have the opposite, where it's entertaining at the cost of all of our sanity. It's a very entertaining time at the cost of your mental health and your physical well-being, probably. So I want to see if there's anything else here that's relevant. There was so I don't have a producer today, guys, so I don't have videos for you. However, I want to address a video that there's been so many videos, but the main one that's insane is where the Senate had a subcommittee meeting and they're grilling all of these military intelligence people that were in the Houthi PC. It sounds like a nightclub. Doesn't Houthi PC sound like a nightclub? Like I want to go there. Like I feel like some like, you know, dumb rich bitch in New York's gonna be like, where do you want to go tonight? Let's go to Houthi PC. It sounds like a gay it sounds like a gay nightclub. Drop the bombs. No, okay. It does sound like a gay nightclub, but the sub, I have to get this off my chest. I am so tired. As someone who's very interested in politics, I am tired of transparency. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say we do not want government transparency. Take that shit back, close the doors, light up the cigars, and bomb everyone unbeknownst to us. Let me say it again. Stop the government transparency. Stop filming senators. I'm going to kill myself. If you keep filming senators talking, I'm going to put a bullet in my head. I will. I'll put 5 in my head. I'll find a way. Because the subcommittee that was grilling the Houthi PC gang, the real terrorists, it's so absurdly theatrical and a waste of taxpayer dollars. I mean, think, guys. Think about every taxpayer dollar that's wasted. Every minute of this hearing, that's a waste of fucking time. It's a waste of time. Hearing these old ass crusty senators going like, now what is signal? Is it like a traffic signal? Is that like I'm at a traffic stop? Like they don't, how do you expect 70-year-old senators to know what an end-to-end encrypted messaging app is? That's insane. We really, and I'm ageist. When it comes to politics, I think we need more ageism. We need to bring ageism into politics. If you're over the age, and I'll be charitable here. I'll be charitable just in case you're an older person listening to this. I'll be charitable. I think that we need to bring ageism into politics. And now I'm not going to be unreasonable with the way we institute ageism, but it does need to exist to some extent. Now, where would I draw the line? I'm very sympathetic. I understand that, you know, older people can have value. So I would say that the oldest age that you're allowed to participate in any politics at any level, I'll be reasonable. I think 19, 20 years old. Beyond the age of 20, it's time to get a real job, because it's being a senator, not a real job. And when you're 20 or 19, you can get that part-time job, right? You're out of high school. You got a little, maybe save up some money. Be a senator. Be the senator of Arizona. Go to DC and ask hard-hitting questions to the director of the CIA. That's what you should do. That's the way our government should work. We need to get rid of the 70-year-olds. And I'm not trying to sound like Hitler for old people, because I'm not like Hitler for old people. I'm more like Mao for old people, in the sense that I'm just going to disenfranchise you. I'm not going to kill you. It's the one, I think one of the reasons our government is so incompetent, and you get idiotic mistakes like this with the government. And excuse me. And you get these military officials accidentally adding the worst possible guy, basically your op, to speak in hip hop terms. Michael Wall, here, I want to do a little segment. I'm calling it hip hop translation, where I translate a news story and I'm going to put it into hip hop rap terminology. When it comes to the addition of a journalist to the encrypted messaging app Signal, to the Houthi PC group chat, it's basically like, let's say you're repping your set and you're repping your set with your homies on the street, it would be the equivalent of calling out your op in the middle of a working session with your homies about how you're going to hit your ops. It'd be like inviting someone from the Bloods over to the Crip meeting session. That's basically what Michael Waltz did. And the reason he did that is because he's technologically illiterate. This is not Michael Waltz's fault. It's the fault of an American. Truly, this is how I feel. This Houthi PC group chat controversy, this is not Michael Waltz's fault at all. It is the fault of an American public that allows old people to run shit. We allowed Michael Waltz. We allowed JD Vance. We allowed Donald Trump Jr., not him, but we allowed these old people in and to run shit. And they just, like, guys, I'm 28. I don't even know how to work Snapchat. Like, that's how fast technology is going. Like, I'm almost too old to be a politician. I'm 28. You know what I mean? I could also never be a politician because I'm not a pedophile, but that's a story for another time. The point is that all of this stuff can be avoided if you have people that are in touch with the youth and the culture. I know what. Put me in, coach. Put me in. When I watch Senate subcommittee meetings, and you see these 70-year-olds talk, and they go, "Now I'm not familiar with Signal. What is that? Like a light? Like a red light or a green light? What is that? Can you explain that to me?" And they're like, "Senator, Signal's an end-to-end encrypted messaging app that allows us to communicate highly confidential war plans within the military and execute on those plans." Now, why did you run a red light? Did you run a red light? Is that why we're here today? Were you drunk, Pete? Mr. Hegseth, answer the question. I reclaim my time. Mr. Chairman, I reclaim my time. Were you drunk, Mr. Hegseth? Is that why we're here? Because you had a little bit too much to drink and you ran a signal? A red light? Is that why we're here? No, Mr. Senator. No, Your Honor. No, Senator. I don't recall. And they all don't recall. That is really of all the because this is a huge story, and I don't want to like belabor over this story for the whole episode. But the craziest part about this story is that, and I talk about this on the Patreon with Alex Labuti, which you should please go watch, is that all of these military intelligence officials that were in this group chat bomb Yemen, and it's a success, and they're all celebrating that they killed a terrorist, and an alleged terrorist who did not get a day in court, by the way, and his girlfriend, who I guess is just collateral damage. But I guess if you're dating a terrorist, does that make you a terrorist? I don't know. That being said, the mission was a success, and everyone is like W's in the chat, and like fist punch, a mirror. It was just so cringe. Imagine being a kid in Yemen, and you narrowly escape with your life after a Tomahawk missile hits a building 500 feet away from you. And then you open up the news and you see that the military in America is putting fire emojis in a group chat about the missile that almost killed you. I would become a terrorist. I'll keep it real. I'd be pretty fucking pissed. And that's true. Every time a bomb is dropped and an innocent person is murdered, you create 10 more terrorists, if that's the words you want to use, or freedom fighters, or something in between. Again, yes, people that people that want to plot attacks and murder any innocent person who's just trying to live their life and make art and work and build a future for themselves and the people that they love. If someone is plotting to kill an innocent person, yes, that's terrorism and it's wrong. But we really have to like understand what would push someone to behave that way. Maybe that person watched their parents burst into flames in a fireball from an American/Israel manufactured, Raytheon manufactured Tomahawk missile. So you cannot ignore why there's a motivation to kill Americans. Is that crazy? And again, I'm just trying to be honest here. Is it really that unbelievable? Let me put it to you this way. When Al-Qaeda and George Bush and Saudi Arabia and the Jews and the Arabs decided to plan 9/11, I'm grouping everyone in there. I was part of it too. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, it was just George Bush and the Saudis. When George Bush and the Saudis planned 9/11, and those we saw as a country, those planes smash into the Twin Towers, and we saw the devastation of that day and the pain and the anger and the rage. It moved so many young Americans to join the military. A lot of them explicitly joining to blow off terrorist heads. So, but in our case, we're brainwashed because those are people fighting for American freedom, right? Because we were hit. We got hit. We got to hit them back 10 times as hard. That's just human nature. So if you think about these people that were bombing, the people that see the bombs and live through it and their whole lives are destroyed in an instant, I think you just can't. They have the same feeling that the Americans felt when we were attacked by the Saudis and George Bush. They feel anger and they want revenge. So it's human. It's just humanity. Humans are savages. We're monkeys. We're apes. I'm Joe Rogan now. So there's not much else on this story. I think one last thing I want to say is about these intelligence meetings. So in the subcommittee hearing where they're grilling the small Houthi PC group chat people, right? This guy is grilling the CIA director, and the CIA director suddenly doesn't recall anything. Suddenly he has nothing in front of him. He's the director of the CIA. Guys, the CIA couped Guatemala. The CIA couped so many countries, made complex, well thought out, well funded, totally secret, not really secret, but badly planned. They're badly planned too. But they coup Guatemala. They are funded with hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars a year, the CIA. And we have the CIA director being asked questions by the Senate, simple questions. And suddenly the CIA director is a retard. Suddenly the CIA director is like, I don't have that in front of me. Next question, Senator. What's your name? I don't know. I don't recall. I don't recall that. What's your child? What's your wife's name? Are we here? And then they try to deflect. They're like, are we here to discuss the matter at hand? Or are we here to be political? Are we here to make political statements? And it's like, and it's a simple question like, how are you? That's what it. But it's like, and everyone knows that it's bullshit. The senators know it's bullshit. The people being grilled, they know it's bullshit, and everyone there comes with a script and a plan, and they stick to the plans. And you know who gets fucked? Us, the American people. We get fucked. That's what happens. So it's just not fair because like I can't use that kind of rhetoric in my life. That's not fair. You understand? It's not fair that the director of the CIA can go in front of Congress and be like, I don't recall. I don't have that in front of me. I'm happy to follow up, Senator. I don't recall, Senator. Not to my recollection. That's not what I said. Like, the CIA director can do that with impunity and nothing bad happens to him, right? On a major fuck up. Right? But if I'm at my job and my boss is like, did you get that Excel model done? I can't be like, I don't know. I don't recall. I don't have that in front of me. I can't do that. If you're at your job, and that's the double standard of the political elite and the real deep state. You want to talk about the real deep state? That's senators on both sides of the aisle, and it's the fucking military brass. The people that really hold the keys to the country and the nukes. That's the double standard, is they don't have to do their job and they are accountable to no one. Like the CIA director, guys, I can't emphasize this enough, can literally just be like, I don't know. I don't know, Senator. Just like in the lights with all the lights on him and the cameras flashing. I don't know. I don't recall, Senator. I don't recall. I'm not at liberty to discuss that. I'm not at liberty to discuss that. But if you work at fucking McDonald's and someone's like, where's my order? You can't be like, I don't have that in front of me. I don't recall. I ordered large fries. Where's my fucking fries? I don't recall. I don't recall you ordering fries, sir. I don't recall. I'm sorry. You're gonna get your throat ripped out. If you fuck up someone's order at Burger King or Taco Bell, and they go, where's my fries? And you're like, I don't have that in front of me. They're gonna rip your throat out. And that is the real double standard of America. Let's move on. So speaking of getting your throat ripped out and gutting everything that we love, Social Security is in trouble. We hate, if you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, Sean Show, we hate Social Security. I don't know if you could catch on from the take I just made. We hate old people. We hate anyone over the age of 29. I'm 28. I'm going to hate myself in about a year. I'm kidding. There's fucking Social Security. I mean, like, and this is the thing. This is what pisses me off. Is like, I was shitting on Elon Musk and I was shitting on Doge weeks ago. Like right when Trump was elected, I was shitting on Doge. And I was like, Elon's going to go after Social Security. Elon's going to go after Medicare. Elon's going to go after government healthcare. Everyone was like, that's not what he's going to do. That's not what he's going to do, idiot. Stop baiting. Stop rage baiting. There's so much waste in the government. He's not going to go after entitlement. And then what does he do? 2 weeks later, he realizes that the only place where he can actually cut the budget of the federal budget is in government contracts that made him rich. And that's the crazy thing. If Doge was to actually be effective, Elon would have to go after the actual waste, which are these bloated government defense contracts. But he's not going to do that because he owns a defense contractor called SpaceX and Starlink. He's not going to do that. So where does he go? Elon doesn't go after the actual bloated waste, which is in the military budget. He's trying to go after what he thinks is low-hanging fruit. You know, the low-hanging fruit. Like the $600 a month that your poor grandma gets that lives in Arkansas. That's low-hanging fruit. When it comes to government waste, I don't think about the Pentagon. That to me is like really key, crucial dollars that we cannot afford to even cut a little bit. When I think of low-hanging fruit, it's poor people getting chemo. Like, why are we paying for that? Like, that's low. You know what I mean? Like, that to me is low-hanging fruit. Elon with Doge, he's going after the stuff that we all agree should be canceled. public roads, public transportation, libraries. These are all things, and some listeners, you guys may actually not believe in public roads, because I feel like people that listen to this are psychotic. And don't get me wrong, like I think in some level there are some line items within the libertarian agenda that I agree with. You know, like last episode, I was like, legalize meth. Like, let me manufacture fentanyl and put it into Dr. Pepper, and let me make it in a refined, calculated way that isn't harmful. Let me measure out the fentanyl. I'm going off the rails today. Let me put a tiny, tiny bit of fentanyl, a non-lethal dose, in some Dr. Pepper and call it Dr. Fentanyl. Fenty. Dr. Fent. Mr. Fentanyl. Like, that is the products that we are being robbed of by a government that is corrupted by the pharmaceutical industry. The reason that you are not allowed to drink my new drink idea, Mr. Fentanyl, tastes great, gives you a little buzz, non-addictive. I wouldn't even lie. I'd be like, it's not addictive. The reason why that product doesn't exist is because Pfizer, Moderna, and a number of other pharmaceutical companies that I can't name lobby the government because they want drugs to be illegal, because they don't want more competition. If anyone can manufacture fentanyl within reason, they'll have 100 manufacturers of fentanyl. But which, by the way, fentanyl has medical uses. I'm just choosing fentanyl because it's the most extreme one. But fentanyl has many medical uses. You know? Like, one of the major medical uses of fentanyl is getting my girlfriend to, like, calm down. Like, that's how I use. I'm kidding. I love you, baby. She doesn't listen to this. No, she's great. I'm not like a My Wife comic. We'll move on. Where was I? But outside of that, like, I do, you know, again, some libertarians think that we should have private roads that are like at different like levels. To me, that's apartheid. Like, when you get to the point where it's like, you know, you have like Spotify, basic Spotify and Spotify Premium, or like TSA and TSA Pre. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, like, I have TSA Pre. TSA Pre is apartheid. People need to open their eyes. Like, am I crazy? Am I crazy saying that like having a line TSA and TSA Pre, like, that to me is an apartheid state. That is the rumblings of apartheid. You know, don't get me wrong. I have TSA Pre and I spit on you if you don't have it. I'm clear. I'm TSA Pre clear. If you're in basic TSA, you need to, number one, you need to get your money up. And number two, you need to stop looking at me because your poverty is dripping on me and I don't like it. So yeah, Elon is gutting Social Security via Doge. Here's the headline. Long waits, waves of calls, website crashes. Social Security is breaking down. I mean, it's getting bad, guys. I mean, again, I think not a lot of people give a shit about Social Security. I don't think most people know what it is, which is crazy. If you don't, I mean, I'll explain it if you don't. It's just a fund that's managed by the government. It's a bunch of money. I don't know how big it is, but if you have a job, which I know you don't if you listen to the show, but if one day, if you get lucky and you work hard, you may get a minimum wage job at Burger King. And if you get that first paycheck for $200, a portion of that money, I'm shitty today, a portion of that money gets taxed and it goes into Social Security. And when you get to a certain age, you get a monthly payout to help support you as you get older. Right now, it's managed, all that money that's been paid into by everyone in America, except for the rich, because they know how to dodge taxes. All the idiots that decide to not buy land and real estate, that paid into Social Security, it's managed by the government. And the support and the ways that people get their Social Security, and I verified their identity. And there's so many different things that need to go into operating Social Security to make sure people get paid. It's being gutted. It's being gutted. And the ultimate goal is to have our favorite company on the show, you know what it is, BlackRock, manage it instead. Which sounds good. Until you look at the prospectuses. That's a deep cut. That's an Office reference. Have you seen the prospectuses on those ETFs? I mean, you can't believe those BlackRock ETFs. Look at those prospectuses. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're an accountant. Here's a paragraph. The moves have upended an agency that, despite the popularity of its programs, has been underfunded for years, faces potential insolvency in a decade, and has been led by 4 commissioners in 5 months. Just one of them Senate confirmed. The latest controversy came last week when Dudek threatened to shut down operations in response to a federal judge's ruling against Doge that he claimed would leave no one in the agency with access to beneficiaries' personal info. With aging, I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, there's so many 10 regional offices that oversee field operations were slashed to 4. I mean, they're just defunding it. They're just defunding it. Now, I thought maybe we'd have a future where we defund the police. But I guess what we actually have is defund Social Security, which is just as good. And I know I was just saying we need to be ageist in politics, but this is bad. I think it's pretty obvious that this is bad. And you know what's really funny? What's so sad about Doge destroying Social Security is that it's only going to affect, it's going to hit the hardest on old people that probably voted for Trump. You know? And I don't know if you've seen, there's these videos, these town halls where it's all these retirees. And a lot of them are wearing MAGA hats. And they're going to town hall and they're like, what do you mean you're going to cut Social Security? That's a good American program. That's a good American program. I paid into Social Security. You're going to cut Social Security? You're a fucking communist. They don't even know what communism is. People that receive Social Security right now, they think that communism is they think that the enemy of America is the Reds. That's how they think of, they think that Vietnam, they think that spies from Nam are in Tampa, Florida, attacking people. That's the mentality of these people are fucking Reds, man. The fucking Reds are trying to cancel Social Security. I need my paycheck. How am I going to subscribe to the Daily Wire? How am I going to subscribe to the Daily Wire if I don't get my monthly paycheck from the government? Hey, I believe in a free America with a limited government that happens to pay me $1,000 a month. We don't live in a country where you get fucking handouts, except for the handout that benefits me, Social Security. I paid into Social Security for 35 years. I inherited 50 acres of land, and I don't need that money, but if it goes away, I'm going to buy a gun. I'm going to do something. I don't know. I don't know how people are reacting to this, but we really may see the destruction of healthcare, government healthcare, Social Security, and to synthesize all of what I'm saying, I mean it's just anyone could see this coming. Anyone with a brain that understands the mindset of a billionaire can understand that Elon Musk is there to make himself richer. He doesn't give a fuck about you. He doesn't give a fuck about lowering the national debt. Elon Musk will crank the national debt up to 50 trillion. It's at 36 right now or something. If Elon Musk had it his way, he would crank the national debt to 100 trillion if it meant that all that extra debt was going towards his companies. That's his mindset. Okay? He doesn't give a fuck about you. And it's like the people that still dick ride him just make me want to puke. But we'll move on. We'll move on to something less political. I've been like really political lately, so forgive me. I've just been feeling saucy. I'm back on the coffee game, by the way. Actually, speaking of healthcare, I want to do a little personal thing that happened to me. I quit coffee for a week. I didn't get a lot of sleep, so I'm back on the sauce just for today and next week, probably. Let's be honest. So I moved. You may or may not know. So I moved to New York, and about 7-8 months ago, I was in Austin, Texas, and I did have Texas healthcare, and the Texas healthcare system is a fucking nightmare. You want to talk about, if you want to go to a place where healthcare privatization is cranked up to 11, just go to Texas and you will find the ramifications of a private healthcare system. I mean, holy mother of fucking God. I feel like I'm kind of a smart guy. Like I kind of know what's going on. And I called my healthcare marketplace representative. And I didn't even know there was a healthcare marketplace. I didn't even know what, like, but I wake up and I have a charge. I've been getting charged $426 for months. I'm like, what is this fucking charge? So I called the Texas Healthcare Marketplace, and then they forward me to my PMO or my HMO. And then that representative forwards me to the texashealth.gov. And I'm like, all I want to do is find out who I need to shoot. Why are you making this so hard? Which one of these people? No, I will say this. Ever since Brian Thompson got shot in the back, I've noticed that a lot of people, when I call up the healthcare representatives, they're nicer. It works. Thank you, Luigi. Genuinely. Like I remember a couple years ago, I would call up the health. Like Luigi really did change the world, because a couple years ago, I remember having issues with my health insurance in Texas, and I remember I called the first number, and then they were like, "Oh, you got to call this number." So they gave me another number, and we all have done this, right? And it's a nightmare. You have no idea who's on the other end of the line. You have no idea what's going on. And then they keep kicking you around and around, and they go, "Well, they told me to call you," and then you call them, and they're like, "No, you got to go call her," and it's like a nightmare. And then Luigi shot Brian Thompson in the back 3 times, and what do you know? Now when I call the health insurance companies, they're really nice. It took like 20 minutes, and I got a blowjob at the end. I was like, "Wow, this is great. This is awesome." So, you want to enact real change? You're not going to do it by checking a box on a piece of paper and voting. And I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not. I think that it's wrong. I think that what Luigi did is wrong. I do. No, I'm not joking. Like, he shouldn't have gone to McDonald's. That was a huge mistake. He could have gotten away. I think personally he wanted to get caught. I think Luigi is a failed model. I think he thinks he's really hot. He is really hot. And I think he wanted to get caught. I think Luigi wants to start a podcast. I would interview Luigi on the show. I wonder if he does interviews. But TBD on that. I mean, now I've got a whole fucking studio, guys. It really is game over. I mean, if you're sticking with me, if you're still listening, I really appreciate it, because it's the beginning of a new era for the SS. Sean's show, which is unfortunately the acronym. No relation. We're gonna let's see. 23andMe. Do you guys know 23andMe? 23andMe was a startup that raised boatloads of money in Silicon Valley. And the whole idea was you send in your jizz or your piss or your something or your spit, and they give you a DNA sample. And then you get it back, and then they tell you like, hey, you're black or you have autism or something. That was what I got. I'm actually black. And they are now bankrupt. Wah, wah. They're bankrupt. And the crazy thing about this now is that they're going bankrupt because it's utterly insane that they couldn't find a way to make money. 23andMe is going bankrupt, and I have no idea how they couldn't find a way to make money, even unethically, off of the genetic makeup of 15 million people. How do you have all of that data and you can't even unethically make shitloads of money off of people's DNA? You didn't find a way to do it? How fucking stupid is the management team of 23andMe that they can't find a way to make money off of 15 million idiots who sent their DNA? If you ever did 23andMe and you sent in your DNA, when the fascists come and blow your head off because you're 2% Ashkenazi Jew, I'm sorry. Again, as a guy that looks Jewish, I can say this. I'm not going to have sympathy for you because you brought that on yourself by giving your DNA to a Silicon Valley startup. That was your first mistake. You're not getting killed by the fascists because you're Jewish. You're getting killed by the fascists because you're retarded. San Francisco-based 23andMe filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection on Sunday and said it would pursue a sale after years of struggling to find a sustainable business model. I'm so sad. That means the company and the genetic information of its 15 million customers will soon be up for grabs to the highest bidder. And guess what, guys? The highest bidder isn't going to be Jesus Christ. It's not going to be Buddha, and it's not going to be Mother Teresa. It's going to be Palantir and BlackRock and Elon Musk. And they're going to buy it. And God help us. Because as I've said before, every startup in Silicon Valley ends up being a defense contractor. So you better get ready for ICE to know your genetic makeup. I mean, that's where I think this is going. You better get ready for the director of the CIA to know that you're 5% Cherokee. Now, what they're going to do with that information, that's where your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. It's just so funny. They're like, how to delete your data from 23andMe. It's not going away. You can't. That's the whole business. You understand? This is so stupid. Users can then download their genetic data for their own personal use before scrolling to the delete data section and clicking permanently delete data. Yeah, good luck with that. Permanently delete data. You know they have a backup server in Thailand or whatever. I mean, this is utterly insane. Let's see. There is a federal law, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, that prohibits employers and health insurance companies from discriminating based on genetic information. Now, do you think that they're going to follow that? Imagine if a health insurance company buys 23andMe, which just went bankrupt. They may use that to raise your insurance premium based on your predisposition for diseases, based on your genetic data. How fucking awesome how awesome is that? Isn't that cool? I mean, that's pretty cool. I support that. 23andMe's policy says it won't share information with police without a legally valid warrant. Oh, well, that's good to know. It's good to know that you won't share anything with the police until they get a warrant signed by a judge elected by Trump. That's great. It's great to know that. 23andMe's data has been used by law enforcement to help solve crimes. The number one crime that it's used to help solve is being black and poor. Okay. Lots of insane shit, guys. Let me end on this. So in Florida, is this Florida? We love Florida. Listen to this. In Florida, 16 and 17-year-olds are currently prohibited from working before 6:30 a.m. and after 11 p.m. on school days. A new proposal would remove all of those restrictions, including the requirement that teens get a meal break. There's a law that may pass that legalizes child labor, which is insane. Government Ron DeSantis supports the measure and argues it's a way to address what he calls dirt cheap labor from illegal immigrants. So the solution to illegal immigrants taking your jobs of good Americans is to throw American children in the mix to compete. This is a great solution. This is the best we can come up with. Is in Florida, they may pass a law that legalizes child labor. And the reason they want to do it is to fight against illegal immigrants undercutting good, hard American workers. And so our solution is to throw American 14-year-olds at the immigrants and undercut them. That's the plan. It's a good plan. I like the idea of like a trust fund kid from St. Pete, Florida, working in a field picking strawberries with a bunch of Venezuelan migrants. I think that's a fun image. Jared's just there. He's like my fucking dad made me get this job. This fucking sucks. I already know the meaning of hard work. I don't need to fucking pick strawberries. This is bullshit. And then the other Venezuelans guy's like, I need to feed my family. Can you help me feed my family? Can you help me feed my family? Excuse me, senor. Excuse me, senor. Can you pick up the strawberries faster? I need to feed my family. You're very slow. No es rápido. No está rápido, senor. Just fucking strawberries. I think it's cool. Where it goes, who knows? In addition to allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to work past 11 p.m. on school nights, it would also remove restrictions for 14 and 15-year-olds who are homeschooled or attend virtual school. Under the new bill, teens could work without limits on hours except in hazardous jobs like roofing. Oh, well, how are you going to fight the immigrants at all if you're not going to let the kids roof? Let the kids roof. One of my favorite activities as a child was going on roofs and hanging out. Let the 14-year-old Floridian boys and girls get on the roof of a commercial building and re-tile a roof. What kind of country do we live in if we don't allow 9, 10, 11-year-olds on a roof in 110-degree weather without knee pads to go re-roof a Dollar Tree? That's my question to you guys. What kind of country do we live in where instead of having our own red-blooded American 9 and 10-year-olds getting on the roof of a Dollar Tree and re-roofing it, making $9.25 an hour, we don't allow that, and we allow some Venezuelan immigrant to do it instead? What kind of fucking country is this? What kind of country is Joe Biden, who is the real president? No one said that conspiracy. That's my conspiracy. Joe Biden's running everything behind the scenes. He was faking his dementia, and he's running everything. He's actually a Republican. This is my conspiracy. I'm going to spread this around. This will be the first Sean Show conspiracy. Here's the real conspiracy. No one's thought of this. I thought of this. Joe Biden is faking his dementia. He's actually a mastermind. He injects adrenochrome daily. Hunter Biden does cocaine so that Hunter Biden's blood plasma is super juiced up. Joe Biden injects that cocaine blood plasma daily, and he's running shit. And he's actually the most Republican guy on the planet. I feel like that's not that far-fetched. So, that's the show, guys. I have to wrap it up. Please subscribe to the Patreon. Don't click away. Please, God, fuck. Review the show on Spotify. Subscribe to the Patreon. Like the show on YouTube. Comment on YouTube. It really, any of those things, it really helps. Join the Facebook group. Facebook.com/groups/Sean Show. It all really helps me out, guys. I haven't committed suicide yet, so that means thank you for listening. Keep on listening and tell your friends about the show. And if you've made it this far and you're listening to my voice, you are 1 in 100, probably. So that really does mean a lot to me. You are 1 of 100 fentanyl addicts that are losing their minds in the streets of Austin, Texas. That's the show, guys. I love you. We're going to be back next week. Shit is moving. I'm in the new studio. And now I'm going to roll a very special song that I made yesterday. So stick around. Don't leave yet. It's called Sean's Song. So let's cut to that and have a great week. Enjoy Social Security before Elon Musk pisses it away and sells out our country to China. So learn Mandarin, have a great week, and enjoy my stupid little song. Bye. Guys, you did it. Welcome to the end of Sean's show. This is Sean's song. I really hope you enjoyed last week. I talked about Larry Fink and BlackRock and his incredible company, and the reception was pretty good. So this week we're going to do something a little different. We're going to do a hip-hop rendition of a song that I love. And I actually didn't know about this artist until he allegedly murdered 8 people at a music festival. Of course, I'm talking about the Travis Scott, incredible artist. Free Travis. I think he's free. And we're going to do his song Antidote, one of his hits. You probably know this one, with my little twist on it. So, I hope you guys enjoy. This is a short one. It's a song I call Anecdote by Sean Riley. I hope you enjoy. Don't you open up that window. Don't you let out that anecdote. Told you that in confidence. My ED is not a joke. Can you check the front door? But keep it on the low, low. So don't you let out that anecdote. ED happens to a lot of bros. Party on a Sunday. Took Viagra on the Lord's Day. Spent the check on some hymns. I might do it again. I struggle with ED. Lots of shame around my PP. My friend shared an anecdote about my ED. That's a no-no. Thank you. That's the song. It's not good, but it's take 85. And that's our show, guys. The Sean Show. Subscribe. I tried so hard on that. Subscribe, like, follow the show, review the show on Spotify. Give it up for George behind the keys. See you next week.